On your small bore gun, how often do you clean it?
This gun I have to clean a lot. This barrel we've been fighting with, and it makes lead, and it'll flip a high bullet if you don't watch out. So, but normally, if you've got a normal gun, like all the other ones I had before, I don't know, maybe once a year, you got to put quite a few rounds through it to get it kind of back where it is. Most of mine have never been bad, like 10, 20 rounds, they seem like they're shooting pretty good. 50, they're probably doing everything they ever were. I mean, your 22 is really, really dirty. You ever look down the barrel, there's all kinds of stuff in there. It's a wonder that they can really shoot, but they do. I mean, the thing to remember about 22 and small groups and like 100-yard groups and stuff, it's almost like voodoo. I mean, anything can make it good and anything can make it bad, you know. I mean, I go to the test tunnel at Lapua, they might pull out 20 different case slots of just center X, and I'll have one that will shoot a nice group. All the other ones will shoot so-so, and some will even shoot bad, you know, and it's all center X. I mean, you can go to Midas, you can go to Exact X. Actually, they've never let me do the Exact X. I have to talk to them about that. No, it is silhouette, though. I mean, when you're shooting your high-power gun and you got those things just shooting dots, it seems like a waste because you'll do a bad shot and miss it. It's like, well, that was a waste of a perfectly good gun and bullet, and, you know. Any other questions, Beth?
She's got a million questions.
Well,
but on the spot.
No, this is good.
Let 'em
Since
roll.
I mean,
you know, because she came up to me with a misfire
Excellent, yeah.
thing. Did it fix the
Oh,
problem?
okay.
Now I have new springs in my.
Has it misfired since you done it?
No, it hasn't.
See what it is?
That was good.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, if you're not getting the right hit, you're gonna have that problem, and it's gotta go off every time. You get a problem if it's not.
Yeah, and I'll know tomorrow once I, get through a match.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Keep your bolt clean. That kind of stuff. You know, change your springs. Make sure that nothing's unlubed. You know, like where the bolt rubs and all those types of things.
But it's a good use.
Are you shooting good or bad?
I'm getting better today.
Okay.
So settling in to being here,
Yeah. Do you shoot better if you shoot a lot, or is there a point where you just start dying off and get tired?
I think there's a moderate amount. Because I don't want to turn into an endurance issue, but I want to feel as relaxed and comfortable as I do when I'm shooting it.
Yeah, well, if you think you're getting tired, you will not make good shots.
Yeah.
So you got to make it an endurance when you practice in order to be physically fit. Sounds kind of strange to shooting, but you need to be physically fit, and even in your mind. You know, your mind has a big part of all that too. You know, I will tell you this: if you're aiming at a target and you think you can't hit it, you're probably right. Yeah.
I was going to ask, what was your least favorite thing about Silhouette? And I was going to answer my own question, and that's what you're saying is losing focus. Losing focus. That's the least favorite thing about Silhouette is if I lose focus, I'll miss a target. Absolutely.
Well, like I said, I came from archery, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And some of the guys I shot with, they were like, the cum laude guys, like where presidents come from,
Right.
real smart dudes, and so there's a bunch of things that you pick up from that. But one of the most interesting things when you start reading into studies of champions, and I'm talking across the board, a champion hates to lose more than winning.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
Think about that. They hate to get beat. The winning is not near as important as just not getting beat.
Right.
And that is like the ultimate great champions when you start doing a polo cross bar. I don't care if you're racing F1 or what. That is the thing. I mean, they'll go home with a burning desire like nothing else. And you could win it, and it's like, you think that'd be great, but no, that doesn't matter. But that loss, boy, they don't forget that, or the guy that beat them or whatever. So it's just something to think about, And not everybody's going to be a champion. There's going to be people who you just shoot good. Maybe they're just happy with shooting good. That's fine. I mean, it's an individual thing, whatever you get pleasure out of, But you know, Rob Latham told me it's no fun if you're not hitting targets, and he's right. It's a lot funner when you hit them.
Amen. Amen to that.
And he's a pistol guy. He's supposed to hit them all the time.
Right.
It's a long time there.
And they're a lot closer for them.
Oh yeah, way easier. This is the toughest shooting sport there is. High power.
I think so.
And
Yeah,
this is the
absolutely.
close second.
Yeah.
You just don't have the recoil. And then everything else is kind of fun. I did a new one, Black Powder 22. That was about as much fun as I've had in a long time. I always tell everybody lever gun's a fun one. Now really Black Powder 22, that one's funner. You just gotta get the equipment, which I don't even have. I just shot a borrowed gun. But no, that is when you're shooting, just say pigs. Pigs is the easiest animal there is. Well, they're a 2/5 scale and they're at 100 meters.
Oh wow.
You're shooting
Okay,
off
yeah.
sticks, but they're 100 meters. And you shoot a 15-shot match like what they did at Raton. You walk away from 15 pigs, you're like, yeah, I really feel like I've done something, you know. Turkeys are the hardest in that game. They think standing up shooting chickens is, but no, it's not. It's really not. I beat them all just because I could stand up and shoot chickens. But their strategy was wrong. They were going at trying to clean the pigs, the turkeys, and the rams with these big, heavy barrels, things you can't shoot offhand, and then take their 3 or 4 chickens, or 6 was a good day out of 15. And I walked out. The first day I was blowing about 25, so it wasn't good. I got 7, but next day I got 13. I was the first guy to shoot 10 in a row. And the next day I missed the last one. I shot 14 in a row. So now I'm still thinking about that. But yeah, but they'd never seen that before.
Right.
You know, and it's like, you know, the lock time's a little slower because they're the old falling block type guns. But, you know, it was just a box stock Maruco shooting biathlon, you know. Trigger was pretty good. Felt like one of these, about 2 pounds, you know. But no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, you can shoot that one until you're really old.
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, yeah. Any other ideas? Anybody think anything?
I'm just thinking about
Don't be
having a
embarrassed.
good day tomorrow.
Yep.
Well, so what's going to make a good day? Let's start there.
Yeah, feeling relaxed.
Okay, relax. What else?
Confident.
You know, so the thing about silhouette is you can be out here right now shooting and you think you got it figured out. And tomorrow you walk out there and even in the practice and it's like it's different. So you've just got to have a whole sack full of cats and figure out what you need for it. It changes all the time. You know, it's like you never know what you're going to have to come up with and you never know what's going to happen. You know, and you have to be ready for everything. But being calm and level, that definitely helps. But there's a lot of nervous shooters. You know, there's guys that can shoot pretty good. I mean, one of the really good shooters I know that shoots nervous is Gabriel Valerella. Man, that guy, he's just a scratchy, itchy going guy, but man, he can shoot good, you know. So, I mean, you can make anything work if you work at it enough. And shooting a lot. Dry fire, scat machines, it doesn't matter what it is you do. Just do it a lot. You know, and I mean, we're really not professionals because it really isn't like a professional type job. It's more of just a, I don't know, bragging rights, whatever you want to call it type thing. But you just want to be good at it. But you've got to shoot a lot. I mean, like I said, I started off pretty good. I didn't have anything good. My first gun was one of those little Ishma Russian biathlons.
Yep.
And I restocked it in a Ruger 1022, which that's interesting because they're real thin and it was real thick. But I made it work, and I made it all the way to, I think, master class with that little goofy gun, you know. And it was as a standard, and it was real light and everything else. Then I got a 64, and when I started with it, it was in the wood stock, and I even had to trim down that little beaver tail forearm to make it light enough to make standard weight. Went to my first nationals on my second year, and I think I was 4th overall with it. You guys are coming up to me going, "We can't believe you're shooting that," you know, and patting me on the back, and I don't even know what they're talking about because it's like you shoot what you can shoot good. And then I turned that gun, I turned the barrel down to a taper, and not much, just within the rules, did a taper, 25 3/8 now instead of a half, because had to recrown it and blued it and put it in a FAR type stock. And I shot that gun forever, for a long time. Guys couldn't believe they made a big deal out of a 64 action, and I really can't tell you that there's much difference. And I usually can with everything, but like lock time and stuff, that 64 shot just fine. You know, Max Garbino's got it now. I don't even think he's shooting it, but it was a great gun. And that was the one that taught me, you get the longer weight produces more barrel heavy felt. And that's what you want. Like a hunter gun, 8.5 pounds, you can't make them too heavy in the barrel. You just can't. I mean, maybe for Beth, because she's about half size of everybody else, but you don't have enough room to work with, 8.5 pounds. I mean, this gun here, I've done everything I can to make it, and most people think this is standard gun when they pick it up. I mean, I fluted it, I pushed the flutes back, it's heavy out here on the front, went as large of a diameter as what I can. Each flute takes out about 1 ounce, so 8 flutes, there's about 8 ounces out of that barrel. Just a regular stock, the light rings, and I can even put this and this on, and I'm still making it up. You know, and then you got to find ammo.
Well, yeah, that's the thing
know.
now, yeah.
But I tell the guys that even start, you know, don't even worry about ammo or guns. Shoot chickens and pigs. You get to where you can just about clean them. Now you're ready to advance to whatever else. You know, if you can hit 10 chickens and 10 pigs, you already get a great score. You just take whatever you get on the other two, but don't worry about it. You know, I mean, that's a great way to start. You don't have to go into anything high tech. You know, and I've still got my little Russian gun. A lot of people that start, they like it. It's got a little 6.5 to 20. There's a lot of people don't like this. Is a 30 power scope, and I shoot a 25 on my high power. I started with a 36, and I would probably still be shooting my 36, but I could crossfire. I needed to see just a little more around to tell where I'm at. I even noticed today I had to move around a lot to find the numbers on these darn things. I'm used to the colored rails. You know what bank you're on when you got colored rails. I was like looking around, oh, there it is, and I had to go back to my target, and that was kind of, I hadn't done that in a while. But every place is a little different. Anything else you can think of?
No, that was awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
There's tons of stuff.
I like this format by having a couple of people asking questions because they're going to come up with.
Very, very special.
Yeah, we probably should do some more of these too because that works
when
well.
Kathy does her little class,
Yeah,
you need to come
absolutely.
up and be filming that.
Oh yeah.
And then you got to go and find the right people because they'll break off into little groups and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, everything that you can think of doing, everybody else has done it. I mean, we all know exactly. If you talk about anyone even a beginner, they've got an idea. Is you see it, you know, it's not like it's a big mystery. If you want to shoot good, you shoot a lot of ammo. You know, work on your form. I mean, it starts with your feet. If your feet aren't solid, you're not going to be solid anywhere else. So you just got to start from the ground up. And then you might have to work on different holds. Everybody's holds a little bit different. Everybody's body's a little different. You know, you might have to tweak your gun to fit you a little bit more, you know. And the hard part about that is you probably don't have an idea. So now you got to go up and down the line and just start asking people if you can hold guns and check things out. I mean, you know, like there's interesting thought processes about this. But one of mine, and if I'm not shooting good, if I aim long enough, which that's like a no-no, but if I keep aiming and aiming long enough, pretty soon it'll do what I want it to do. It might take me over 20 seconds. It'll get faster and faster, but that's how I got to start it off doing. If I shoot the first time I go blowing by the target, I never get to that point. You know, so if you're just a first opportunity shooter, you might not ever know that thing will actually settle down. I mean, there's a lot of times it'll go like this and it'll just stop.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, but if you're shooting before you ever get to that, you never know. So you got to try a lot of different things. You know, and if you don't think the shot's good, don't shoot it.
Oh, that's probably the most important. Absolutely.
Putting your gun down.
If you feel
reset.
it's a garbage shot.
Yeah, and we'll all push it.
And you have to force yourself to not shoot.
Yeah.
Trust your brain. Force yourself not to shoot.
Right.
That's always my biggest mistake. I'll try to shoot it anyway.
Well, I call it championship shooting. If you realize, you know, the odds start going down. This is not going to be let's just say 100%. It starts going to 80, starts going to 60, and why are you still trying to shoot it? You know, you need to just back out of it. And the more you back out of it and reset, the easier it starts becoming. It'll speed up. It's kind of like just the way your brain works.
Yeah, you train in your brain.
You know, and it truly is like a good and a bad in your brain. And if you take the bad shots, now the bad guy's winning all the time, and you never let the good guy get a chance. And it's that simple. It's like a good and a bad in your brain, the way it thinks. And it's, you know, so when you wake up in the morning, you know, like Beth tomorrow, she's talking about shooting good. You got to not let that guy get his roots in there. You got to just start doing whatever it takes to make the other guy show up.
So when I have that feeling of shooting well and knowing what I did to make that happen, and shooting, like you're saying, enough,
Well,
then you can carry that, keep doing that.
Yeah. Well, remember, it is just simple. Put the dot on the target and shoot it.
Yep.
You know, and don't make it happen. Kind of let it happen, and keep it simple. And well, all the other stuff's going to get in the way. You know. I mean, just remember, if you can shoot one, you can shoot them all.
Okay.